Welcome to the Celebrity Gourmet Podcast, where we feature top bakery and specialty food entrepreneurs from around the world and share stories and tips on how to create a successful life in the baking world.
Hi, my name is Odette Daniello, the host of the Celebrity Gourmet Podcast, where I interview bakery entrepreneurs and hear about how they live their fun lives, building their business with grit and resilience. Our past guests have included Natalie Blyfus, founder and CEO of Pie Bar, and Katie Pope, founder and CEO of Blue Star Donuts. I want to encourage you to go back and check out the past episodes with Natalie, where she discussed her amazing ingenuity in construction, electrical, plumbing, machinist, to build a pie empire in Seattle and going to be franchised around the country. And with Katie, who uses her neuropsychology background to create a remarkable donut experience for her customers. I have here today my dear friend, owner and founder of Seattle's most favorite pastry, Piroshky Piroshky. Before I introduce you to Olga, I wanted to share that today's episode is brought to you by Celebrity Gourmet Ventures. It's a family-owned and operated specialty bakery owned by me and my sister under the brand Celebrity Cake Studio and Dragonfly Cakes. We have been baking joy into all of our artistically designed cakes and desserts for 25 years, and we are proud to be here today to host this podcast. If you want to reach us, please log into our website at celebritycakestudio.com and dragonflycakes.com or email me at odette@celebritygourmet.com. So I wanted to also give a shout out to the UW Foster School of Business, the Ascend program, because that's how Olga and I met. There was that program where they helped food entrepreneurs with a cohort of, I think, 20. How many of us?
I don't even remember. When was it? 2017?
Yeah, 16 or 17, where they had these classes for food businesses, and that's how we met.
Yeah, and I just want to correct you since you're on record. I'm not the founder. I'm the proud owner of Piroshky Piroshky.
Oh, okay. Proud owner and the great leader of Piroshky Piroshky. And so now I wanted to give you the floor, Olga, if you could tell our listeners all about you and your amazing business.
Of course. Well, I've been doing it for over 20 years. And I love what I do. I love what I do. If you ask me ever again, should I go in the food business? I'll be solid no. But I love what I do because food brings people together. And not just that, we pioneered new food that was, not so famous or known. And now I think we have a very good name in Seattle. And then we pioneered new food with, so many cool flavors. We're not afraid to experiment with different culture flavors and kind of really put it on this pie, handheld pie, which Piroshky is. So I think that's what's the coolest thing about what I do.
So can you tell our listeners what a Piroshky is in case they don't know what that is? Because, we all know what it is in Seattle.
Piroshky is a handheld pie. So it's a Russian street food. And a lot of cultures have it. That's your hambaus, that's your little bit of a calzones. And so lots of different cultures have it. It's a street food on the go. It can be breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's usually affordable.
Right.
Well, it is affordable. And it's something that can fill you in sort of like American sandwich. The point behind it is like American sandwich. What you think about sandwich, that's a Piroshky, but it's wrapped and it has the fillings inside.
Well, what I love about Piroshky is it's a raised dough. It's not a brioche. It's not anything like that. It's a raised dough, correct? It's yeasted?
Yes, it's raised dough, and we have puff pastry dough, but we also have we also have a lot of our own like layered dough as well, and sort of like so we make about 4 or 5 different kinds of doughs
Right.
for different kind of pastries, and it's savories or it's sweet or other ones, and it's all in house and all original recipes.
So what I just wanted to tell the listeners that the difference in the doughs, right? When you bake something, there is the whole line of yeast doughs that are raised, right? Those are proofed so that they're the with the yeast, and then the other ones are sweet doughs. So you have both sweet doughs
And we have puff pastries that doesn't have yeast. It's a layered puff pastry dough, and it is raised because of layers of stuff. So like like pitas, like not the pitas. Goodness, what am I spacing out? There's a Greek name, pakana pita or something like that.
oh,
That's made out
spanakopita.
of spanakopita. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here you can
Yeah.
say that very nicely.
So it's
So
phyllo.
it's a savory.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you know what it's amazing about Piroshky Piroshky that I want you to talk about is the amount of it is the busiest place in Pike's Place Market. So if you ever visit Pike's Place Market and you walk around and you see a line snaking around and around and around, well, it is Piroshky Piroshky. You probably beat Starbucks, the original Starbucks with a line, correct? I mean,
I probably do beat Starbucks with a line, not with sales, because they do sell cups and mugs and all this other stuff, and merchandise that is not made on site by hand. But well, you know what? Maybe not, because you do have 5 cash registers. I only have 2. That's something to think about, but we're close.
but when you calculate like the per square foot revenue,
Oh, sales per square foot. Oh my God,
it's a record.
I think it's record for West Coast. We were doing some research, and we expanded right now. Thankfully, a couple of years ago, we doubled in size from 350 square foot to 700 square foot. But when we were 350 square foot, we were probably one of the busiest producers per square foot. If you don't take those stadiums and things like that, if you take just regular businesses,
right,
and don't take airports, probably busiest, top 20 in the world, in the United States.
I'm just fascinated by the number of the volume of product that you can put out in such a small space, the efficiencies of it, and you make it all there, right? You mix it all there.
Mostly, yes. Mostly, no. We don't mix the dough, and we don't bake the fillings because we only have 2 ovens, so we're limited with the capacity.
Okay.
But basically, the idea is we have a commissary kitchen, and we can make. We have a dough. Have to have a big mixer. If I put that big mixer in Pike's Place Market, we don't have we don't have space to sell or to bake. So we have a big mixer that mixes the dough and does the dough. Then we have prep, right? And our prep is pretty hard because we do proteins as well. So we're not just doing chocolates and marzipan and cinnamon. We do proteins, chicken, beef, sausage, and all this other stuff.
And salmon.
So that's so good. We just found a new vendor. That was a whole thing, but we have really good salmon right now. And so it's all being kind of worked on, and the recipes are being developed, and then we deliver the dough and the filling, and then in Pike's Place Market they put it together in front of people so you can really see how it's being put together,
and you can smell it.
You could smell it, and then we bake it. Yeah.
What's your most popular flavor?
You know what? It's a really good question, and so we have two flavors that never win or lose. They always go up. Between those 2, they're top. It's a smoked salmon pate and beef and cheese.
Smoked salmon?
You said it first. Really good. Try the new one. Oh my God, that's fish. We used to buy fish from, I don't know, Cisco, one of those, companies. We try to do local, but still through the Cisco or whatever. But then we found this person who sells fish to Cisco, but thankfully we had enough volume to be able to have a separate relationship with him. and he's a producer, and
Wow.
really good right now.
Well, you also were doing flavors like from other cultures, because I know you were like talking about Filipino flavors. You had
Yeah,
adobo one
yeah.
time, and you had all kinds of
We
either.
didn't have an adobo. We wanted to do adobo. We had chicken katsu.
Oh,
We
yum.
had Korean
In a
barbecue
pastry.
in a pastry. It was really good. We have Swedish meatballs. We have chicken pot pie. We have, so we really are not afraid to experiment. We'll take all those cultures and be like, let's all mix it up and see what we can do.
So how many employees do you have currently?
As of today, I cannot say for sure. I would say about 75 right now.
And you split them, right? Because you have how many? I know you had multiple locations. I know you had one in Pike's Place. That was your busiest one, but you also had some at the malls and other locations.
So right now, unfortunately, as far as locations, we only have two that are operating after COVID.
Right.
We only were able to reopen our third and Pike. We lost our North Gate. We lost our South Center. Columbia Tower is still sleeping. We still not reopened it. There's no people there for now. But we're opening in Convention Center.
Oh, the
Hopefully
new
in a couple
one.
months here. Yes, we are in permitting right now, and permitting. I'm not going to go into permitting. And I'm when you have to tell people what the law says.
Oh,
So that, and then we're in permitting for that, and we're opening our Kent location, which will be open as a commissary kitchen by the end of July, but it will be probably open for retail sometime later this year.
that's amazing. I would think too that a good location for your Piroshky would be the airport.
Oh, that would be good.
Well, that would be amazing because then you could carry it onto the plane and it's tidy.
That's how our South Center location actually functioned. It was picking up our people who were going to the airport.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'll have to remember
Mhm.
that because that's, what's great about Piroshky is that you walk around with it. It's a walk around
Mhm.
food and it's like a meal that doesn't spill.
Yeah. Yeah. Contained meal, but not in like a box.
But not in a box, and it's filling.
Not a protein shake. And it smells good, it makes you feel good, it fills you up. And you know what? It's somewhat healthy on top of it.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of, we talk about producing, processes of food. There's not a lot of processes to our food. There's cooking, right? There's mixing,
right.
but it's really not that processed.
I know that's delicious. But one of the things too that I wanted to bring up is I know during COVID, right? You and I stayed in touch because it was nuts. Like every food business, right, was impacted by it. So you just make basically what I loved is how you pivoted and where you are now has been ingenious. I just love it. I'm always telling my daughter, I'm like, we got to talk to Olga because that's amazing. So tell us about what you did during COVID and now the pop-ups that are all around the country, because that is
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, thank you so much. So when COVID happened, of course, it hit us so like we'd never been hit before, right? You have a full staff and your sales are going down 90%. Usually you can predict stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like by closing the store. So what happened, sales went down. And the thing is, it was March or February. So we're just ramping up our summer hiring. And what you have to know about me, my number one priority are my people. And in a selfish way, of course, but also in a human way, to train someone to be a good part of our crazy business and have them be seasoned and good, it takes years. Just to train someone to do something will take like 3 months because it's unusual. Right? You cannot get somebody from another Piroshky place. We have to train from scratch. Doesn't matter where you come from.
Right.
And then you go and get them to the level that business needs them to be. And that's about at least one full cycle, 1 year.
Right.
So when COVID happened, I was like, crap, I cannot lose my people. if I lose my people who've been with me for 10 years, for 12 years, for 7 years, for 5 years, I will not bring that business back up, because it would be, it's work of many, many, many years where we are right now by many, many, many people. And I knew things going to come back, right? We can't think right now. We knew things going to come back. We knew we're going to recover. We did not know how long it's going to take.
Right.
If we did now, it's going to take 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
So my number one goal, okay, what do I do that I can keep employees? And it was before the PPP loans and before all the other stuff, right? It didn't come right away. First, it was just like bang over the head. And this bang over the head, when your payroll is $100,000 for 2 weeks, that's a big bang over the head. And you are the only owner, and there is no financing, there's no venture capitalist behind you. It's your savings account. It's your house. It's your life. It's your kids' school. It's all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I have 2 choices. I close or I bust my ass. And I chose to bust my ass. And we started to pivot, and I'm like, okay, Piroshky, we need to deliver to people. Oh, fine. We have some sort of systems. Let's start delivering it. So we started to home deliveries. Made so many mistakes. And then we started to pop-ups. Pop-ups going around the state of Washington with food truck and, delivery stuff. Made so many mistakes. But because we were doing it over and over and over, still these mistakes, things were getting better and better and better and better. We kind of work out the mistakes and things like that.
Right.
So that's March, February. By October, I broke even for the first time, which is really fast in the food industry to break even on my amount of people I have. So it was I needed to about break even, because at that point I did not have payments for my house. So that's where we came to. And then and then November, and then once you break even, you're going up, right? Slowly, but you're going up. So I'm like, okay, it worked. We broke even. We and for me, breaking even is a lot, because we went from minus, $300,000 a month to breaking even.
I wanted to just clarify and to tell everybody that one of the reasons why you did deliveries was because food business were being charged so much by these
for sure. Yeah, we did not do services. Yeah, it wasn't many marketing. It was 25% marketing fee, right? Basically, that's what it was. So we couldn't deliver through anyone. We had to deliver ourselves, and knowing our own customers, getting their data, giving them discounts, control the product, and save that money, because long-term thinking. In November, it was November, and I remember it really clearly. We had amazing pop-up in Spokane. So we got as far as Spokane by November. And we were short-staffed, or whatever the reason is. But, it wasn't short-staffed. The weather was really bad. And I only have few people who I would trust to drive over the pass.
So you drove your food truck
this bad weather as an employer. Not a food truck. No, not a food truck. So there's only a few people I can trust in the company to go over the Snoqualmie Pass during winter. And they're all busy. It was me. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it, right? When you do it yourself, when there's nobody else. So we had a pop-up, huge pop-up. It was like, I would say 200 orders. It was big. It was big. I had a big, Nissan that was full. So it's
November. And how did you find the customers for the pop-ups? How did they find you?
It's going there for the first time, and and then just going to Facebook, advertising at Facebook, like really start learning the advertisement tools that people have. And, of course, making mistakes, spending a lot of money. So it was just a whole experiment. But what I felt is people like us, people want us. That's the feeling. It's just, how can I get it to the efficient space? So listen to the story. This is like the best story ever. I am driving this truck on the Snoqualmie Pass. I had to put chains on. I come out. It's snowing. I'm tired. It's middle of November. And I'm putting chains on a goddamn car after doing this for 20 years. I was, when you have this low moment?
Yes.
And you're like, what are you doing? Like, what the heck are you doing? Like, stop it, screw that, sell everything, go to Hawaii. Like, that's what's going through my head, right? At this point, as I forgot my gloves and putting chains on with my bare hands. Oh, not didn't forget. I forgot somehow one glove. I had one glove. I Michael Jackson. So, so I put the chains on, got in the truck. I'm like, well, I'm already going. I should just finish this Spokane thing and then go to Hawaii. And
Go to
and
Hawaii.
driving. And then when you feel really low, you have to just wait when that high gonna come in after that, because that's what usually happens, right?
Yes.
So every time you feel really low, remember that something is good coming your way.
Right.
So, and as I'm driving to Spokane, I'm realizing, I'm like, hang on, this just takes me like 4 or 5 hours. Why can't I put it on a plane? And planes are empty. So by the time I'm in Spokane, I'm talking to Alaska Airlines, negotiating the cargo rates for the planes. So that's how it went into the planes and so forth and so on. We had incredible pop-ups. We had met incredible people. We own all our customers across the country. Yesterday, I just came back in the morning from being on Sacramento on Morning News to promote our North California tour next week. So
Your
what
tour?
North California tour with pop-ups next week. So it's just been a journey.
And that's free press. That's free press.
Yeah. And it's free because we're doing something so unique, not like no one else does. The scariest thing to do is to do something unique that no one else does.
That's what I love is that I remember when you were telling me about these pop-ups and you had just started. I was like, how do you put that on the plane? Wait, hold on. People order and then take the boxes and you load them on the plane and you pick it up and you rent a truck and you go to a parking lot and give it out. Like, it was just incredible. I was just like, this is the most innovative thing ever. You don't have to open anything. You don't have this overhead of having stores all over the country, but people have access to your product.
I don't even have to license anything in some states because we know Nexus rules and we know which state what we can do. And we, like, for example, there are some states we can only go once a year without having all the licenses. So we just do that. We go once a year.
And then it's already like you were telling me too, that these boxes, people are, like, well, you need a license for this particular same. Like, no, we're just delivering orders, right? Like they're already fully
my daughter, because of course health department is all over us. And technically we're delivering boxes that are closed, that are prepaid, not even ours. So my daughter comes in. I had this issue. I was in Anchorage, and Anchorage was giving me so much crap. And they're like, you need a health department on site. You need this, you need this. I'm like, those are boxes. Like, well, there's food in boxes. I'm like, or a t-shirt, like that's the conversation we had. And I'm like, it's not even my boxes. And my daughter goes, she's like, it's not her boxes. Don't you need a warrant to open someone else's box? I was like, girl, you got it. So we're pretty much telling the health department they need a warrant.
That's hilarious. You need a warrant.
But that's what has been happening. Those are true stories. Those are true. You can't make this up, Annette.
Oh, I know. It's the kind of ingenuity that you just. Every time I have a conversation, I'm just like, my head spins. It's like, what? Like the one your pop up in was it?
And
Berkeley?
again, I just remind you that the telling health department person that they need a warrant would be the last step you want to do before you exhaust all the other steps. Let's not do that because they're just going to get angry right away. So
did they get angry in Anchorage?
No, we found the law in the King County thing that we can do, or King County Anchorage thing. We go to source. We go to laws and we read them and we tell them, hey, this is just boxes, not ours. And you have to tell them that because they show up like you're a food, truck. And there's just a bunch of boxes in a U-Haul. And we have to get that conversation going, hey, we're not a food truck, it's boxes in a U-Haul that may or may not contain food. And it's all safe on top. We have ice in there. It's all safe. It's all been checked. We track the temperatures. We're doing everything to keep my customers healthy. So it's just bureaucracy bullshit that we have to take care of.
But you know what?
Yeah, Berkeley. Berkeley was crazy. Berkeley was crazy. So Berkeley, it was I don't even know what happened. Maybe somebody wrote about that. But basically, it was 333 customers.
That's
Minimum
good.
order, or 336 maybe. I'm not gonna, don't quote me on that. Minimum order is $50. That's a box. Now, not everyone just orders a box.
Right.
So Berkeley's just going up, 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 up. So we're prepping, right? It's a lot of prep to do it. We have to book air cargo. We have to understand what the airplane capacity, like we have to do all this stuff. And then we usually cut off at 150 or 170. So we cut off at that's kind of what we can easily do with our normal things. Like it's a 170, 150. And we cut off the event and people start calling and calling, like, why are you cutting out the event? It says deadline is in 3 days. Like they're giving us crap for selling it out. I'm like, it's sold out. They're like, well, then you shouldn't write about it. Like this whole thing, your advertising said the last day. You know how customers start really being right, but like, they're right. Advertisement did say this, and yes, and I'm like, damn it, we gotta bring it up. Like, release it. We'll figure it out. Let's run it as much as we can, and then deal with the consequences after. How many times have you done that?
I love it.
You know,
just do it and say sorry later.
well, the thing is, the do it thing was kitchen has a capacity. We know our kitchen's capacity, right? So I know I have the boxes. I know I have a kitchen capacity. What I don't know is it will take 9 pallets. It would take 3 trips to the airport on our 24-foot truck. It will take 2 airplanes, 2 full cargo, like the cargo, there's a lot of capacity on the belly of the plane. It will take 2 full flights of our pretty much piroshkis in the belly of the plane. Then it will take 2 people being in Berkeley, 2 U-Haul trucks that are 15 foot U-Haul trucks. But we did it, and it was amazing.
And then you parked like at some parking lot, correct?
No, it's just a brewery. Brewery invited us.
That's so amazing. That's incredible.
And people even had beer while we were doing a lot of stuff.
And they were having, I saw the photos of the white little tent and the boxes up to the sky and people lining up.
We did a time lapse on that. I had to do a time lapse because we were short staffed. So of course I was the second person who went. And if I go, I'm like, okay, time lapse this, like, what can we?
Yes, you have content.
And yeah, so I put my phone down, and when we started, and we knew how busy it's gonna be, and we usually when people start coming up early, like even 5-10 minutes before event, they have no problem. At this event, me and my business manager were like, we're not starting early because this is gonna be crazy. And we put the pallets out. This source A's, those source B's, those source C's, like by alphabet, right? Like this is insane. So we can find names fast. And then we just like, I'm like, we need to take a break. So we're sitting there, drinking tea while we have a line of people. And then, why are you not starting? Go! They're angry at us. But we just are freaking tired. We just came in loading it all, unloading it all, delivering it all, organizing it all. We're tired, and we have 10 minutes before the pop-up starts. So I go, unfortunately, California state law is very strict, so we have to take a break before we start the pop-up. They're like, oh, understand, got it. I'm like, okay, let's take a break. Because we're in front of them, right? We're just not helping them. We look like not nice people. So then we started, and it was amazing.
Oh my God, so incredible. I mean, it's like an adventure novel. I mean, you should write a book. You literally should write a book. I'm telling you, I would read it. It's like I think if our listeners knew, like, this is just one aspect of your adventurous bakery life. It just is. And currently, I know as we're starting to wrap up, you have another adventure that you're doing. And can you tell us about what you're doing now?
Running for Seattle City Council? Sure. I'm running for Seattle City Council, and I don't think I picked this adventure. I think this adventure picked me. It's just, I can't watch what's happening in Seattle to small businesses. And I know how hard it is to run a small business. I have felt it so many times. And I just felt it recently when COVID happened. and understanding how there is no understanding right now of how easy it is to shut your door and just walk away, and there's nothing. And you could have spent 20 years of your life. You don't have savings, you don't have 401k, didn't work for anyone. Sometimes you just close the door, you can't sell it, you just walk away, right? It, and that's all. That's your life. And it's very easy to close the door. It's easier to close the door. It's easier to give up. It's easier to walk away. And how hard it is to open that door and start it.
Oh, right.
And keep opening it every single day. So I feel it with my gut, and I could not see what's happening to the city anymore. So here I am.
That's exactly our conversation yesterday too, with Katie and Portland, and how sad it is to see a city that was so vibrant. The food culture is so vibrant, and small businesses are just shutting their doors because it's easy to walk away, but hard to open, hard to make all those decisions and
even just straightforward. You and I know that the grandfather in clause, you have to keep it rolling under the same use. The second you close it for 6 months, done. Right. Now you need all the new rules and regulations. Now that place that's been an amazing business, food business for 70 years, closed for 6 months, you possibly, some of them, it's impossible to put this new business under new regulations there.
Absolutely.
That's all there is to it.
And the food culture of a city really builds community. It builds understanding with people. If you taste somebody's food, you're likely not going to just make a judgment based on their ethnicity or
you know what people come together over what's it called, breaking bread and butter, breaking bread. That's where it comes from. It's no matter how we fight, how we disagree, what we have, when we break bread together, that's where we find commonalities.
Absolutely. I love it, Olga. Thank you so much. One final question. So if you were to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
My God, go to school.
You go to school.
Go get education in university, and get married rich. I don't know, something like that.
Get married, go to the university and get married. Oh, Olga,
or get married rich. Get married rich. Get married rich. Hold on, don't. No, just don't get married. No, screw that. Get married rich. Probably.
No,
I don't know. This is what I'm feeling right now, pretty heavily. But I mean, would I change it for anything else? No way. But if I knew what I know now, would I choose to do it again? I don't think so.
I understand. I think, owning a small business, having been in business for 25 years, I tell people, like, you bleed through every pore of your body in order to stay alive, and then for some reason, when you do have a little bit of reprieve, people seem to think it's luck. But no, it was the day-to-day slog and day-to-day decisions to stay with it, even though if it was hard, and to change that tire, with one glove, or, this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast, because all of these stories I know them because I know you and I know so many of us. And I think that people need to know, like, it's not that easy.
And you don't have enough, you don't have enough podcast time to tell all those stories. Absolutely. And that even we sometimes don't even know those stories are happening right now. Like, we have to sometimes go back and think. Sometimes we don't have time to go back and think, to slow down, right? And be like, what did I just do? That was impossible. I just did impossible.
Yes. And now, I find you to be one of the most powerful women that I've ever met.
Thank you. You were incredible on that.
And I am so glad that we're part of EO together, so we can see each other more.
That's right.
Entrepreneur Organization is an organization that's global for entrepreneurs around the entrepreneurs and founders, and Olga and I are in it. So
Yep.
exciting. Well, Olga, thank you so much. I so appreciate your being here. And, I hope we have lunch and dinner again soon, like we always do. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Celebrity Gourmet Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.